So that's a wrap on Preacher Season 2 with a huge cliffhanger with Tulip. Now, obviously, if you haven't watched the episode, leave now, because huge spoiler, but Tulip gets shot by Laura Featherstone. Very shocking, did not see that coming. And I'm going to bet my money that she is going to be okay. If they open the episode with that chicken that Jesse was bringing to his grandmother in Angelville, that can definitely revive people, it seems like. I'm sure that's what he's planning to do with Tulip. That's why he's driving to Angelville. So she's going to be okay, but Jesse's going to have to pay the price some way, because that's how they open the episode. Your grandma's like, you have to pay the price for me to revive this chicken. Same thing's going to happen with Tulip, the chicken being Tulip. Now let's pray for Preacher to get a Season 3. I think it deserves it. I think Season 3 is where maybe all this stuff will finally come together, and Angelville is going to be a really strong storyline. If you know from reading the comics, it's a really awesome part of the comics anytime it's in that area. So hopefully that's where Season 3 would go, and I hope they get to do that. And they can't just end the show on a cliffhanger like that without us knowing. So please give us a Season 3 for Preacher. But overall, to me, Season 2 was a little bit of a disappointment. I don't think it was as good as Season 1. I wasn't crazy about Season 1, and then Season 2's beginning I was crazy about. I thought it was really good. And it completely just took a nosedive to me. I think it just got stuck. Too many episodes for the season. And they really just did not do much with Cassidy and Tulip here at the end. They were just stuck in that apartment. I didn't even feel like New Orleans anymore. It just felt like literally these two people in an apartment the whole time. And it really hurt the show. And I thought it just didn't know where to go with Arseface's storyline as well this season. I mean, and they're bringing Hitler out of hell with him, which I don't agree with. I thought they should just wrapped up with Hitler saying goodbye. I don't know what they're going to do with Hitler on Earth now. I don't know how that's going to tie into anything. So I feel like the Arseface storyline was also a tank. I mean, hell was disappointing in a way. The way they made it look, it was just like, eh. And it didn't really lead to anything with the season. It was kind of its own show. And I don't even know where it's going now. And I still don't really fully understand Harry Starr's endgame. I know he's using Jesse for his own profit and kind of using him as a toy for fame and all this stuff and power, but it's not that interesting, honestly. And I don't know how it's going to tie into the Angelville story next season and the whole Grail thing. So I feel like they just spent too much time on certain stories and not enough on others, and just a lot of filler. There's even filler in the finale tonight where Tulip's basically just going to the grocery store and buying sunscreen for Cassidy, and she's fighting with the register person and then tries to steal again. It was just, come on. Like, what was the point of that scene? You're having that in the finale? Like, we deserve more at this point. But there was bright points to it. I'm nitpicking here, the stuff I didn't like, but there's a lot of stuff I still liked. I liked the Cassidy Dennis story here. I liked that he found the stuff Dennis had on the computer, and then he made the choice to get rid of Dennis. Made sense because Dennis was bringing out the worst in him, and Dennis was not behaving right as a human. He didn't even want to make him a vampire in the first place. And I love the Cassidy versus Preacher showdown. We finally got that. A little gripe there for each other, and you could tell the tension even about Tulip there. It had a lot to meaning there with that little wrestling match. And I like how Cassidy thought of, I'm going to bite her to save her, and Preacher's like, no, I have another way. And he is kind of being unselfish there because he'd rather not make her a vampire and live her life like that and have to live forever and maybe revive her away where he has to pay the price, but he's willing to make that sacrifice for Tulip. So I think that was smart on Preacher's part, and it made sense for where Cassidy was for him to want to do that. But it was such a powerful scene. Cassidy, the actor Cassidy, Joseph Gilligan, acted great in the scene where he's screaming for Tulip and he's like, Preacher, please let me save her. Really powerful scene. Worked great. And that was set up very well. So that was the bright spot of the finale for me. I also like Laura Featherstone shooting Tulip. I thought that was shocking, like I said before. And it was cool to see her kind of just quickly pull it out on her like Western style and screen go to black, which I thought was awesome. And I also did enjoy Jesse going to that school and her start setting him up just to be like a YouTube sensation in a way. And I like the Jimmy Kimmel jokes. And speaking of humor in the episode, I think the funniest part was when Arseface was at the boat waiting for it, talking to the guard guy. The guard guy was hysterical. I missed a lot of that humor in the show of recent time. I feel like they've went away from that, and that felt great to find again. And if you remember Season 1's finale, it was hysterical. It was really good, especially with the God projection thing. So it was a little disappointing. That was like the only big humor we got in this episode. But overall, I still enjoyed it. I'm going to give it a solid 8. It wasn't amazing, and I had high expectations for this season for Preacher. I thought the ceiling on the show was high, but it was a crushing disappointment this season as a whole for me. I thought Season 1 was a little better. So 2 questions I have for you guys. Did you like season 1 of Preacher better or season 2, and why? Please comment below. I respond to everybody. I really want to know your thoughts on this. And also, do you agree with Jesse here that he didn't make it Vampire Tulip to save his life, that he is going to go with him having to pay the price? What would you have done if you were Jesse? Is it going to be worth it for what his screwed up grandmother might do to him to save Tulip, or should he just let Cassidy bite her? So please let me know your thoughts on that. Comment below. And that's it for Preacher for me for season 2. I'm also reviewing American Horror Story, Walking Dead, Survivor, The Deuce, movies, celebrity interviews, and I interviewed Julie Ann Emery, who plays Laura Featherstone on the show. So check that out. I have the link right here. She's awesome, so I hope you enjoy. And keep coming back. And please subscribe and comment below, respond to everybody, and follow me at SteveVarley1 on Twitter and Instagram.